And this is my review for Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Sergeant Kup. I've been looking forward to this guy ever since they announced him. I'm a huge Kup fan, so I was really happy when they announced that they were going to make an update for him. Kup is one of my overall favorite characters from Transformers. He's definitely my favorite Season 3 character. I just think he's an absolutely awesome character, so I was really happy when they announced they were going to make him an update. And overall, I am really pleased with the update. It's not a perfect figure. It definitely has its flaws, but it is overall a really nice figure, and definitely a nice update to G1 Kup, which is really cool. Anyway, as you can see, he's an Earth Mode pickup truck. I know a lot of people complain about the fact that he is an Earth Mode pickup truck rather than the Cybertronium pickup truck that he was in G1. But personally, I think this is 100 times better than the G1 alt mode, because I was never a big fan of the Cybertronium pickup truck mode. I thought it was really stupid looking, and it was really the only thing that I didn't like about Kup. But I'm really glad that they decided to go with an Earth mode pickup truck rather than stupid looking Cybertronian pickup truck. It is overall a fairly nice looking truck. I really like how it blends a lot of the classic elements from the old time pickup trucks, particularly up here in this grille. It looks really neat, and how it also blends a lot of the modern elements. It does vaguely resemble a Ford F-150, which I think is really cool. It's just an overall really nice alt mode, and I really do like it. Anyway, there's not a whole lot to say about in terms of features. It does roll fairly well, which is nice. I should mention that the wheels do come all cast in black plastic. There's no paint apps on them. These paint apps that I put on the rims are custom made, and I'm still really ticked at Hasbro for not painting the rims, because it does make his vehicle mode let him pop a lot more, and I really wish that they had just painted them out of the factory, so I didn't have to do it myself. So step up your game, Hasbro. Start painting the rims. You're starting to make me mad here. Anyway, he also does come with this gun. I should mention I did custom paint this as well. It comes this same gray plastic that you can see down here on his hands and part of his legs. And it didn't look bad in gray plastic, but personally, I thought it looked a lot better all silvered out. And I think it fits Kup's character a little bit more, since he is an ancient war veteran. I think he should have an old-fashioned type gun, which is really neat. I really like the fact that they did give him a shotgun for an alt mode, and I think it's really cool. So yeah, this is a custom painted gun. It does come in gray plastic, but I painted it silver, and personally I think it looks a lot better, but it's all up to you. Anyway, there are a couple of things you can do with it. It does have a 3mm clip right here. There are two clip ports up here on the roof, and you can clip it into either one. I guess you could, if you really wanted to, get like a G1 Target Master or Headmaster, or maybe even a Power Core Minicon to man it in the back, because it does have a hollowed out truck bed back here, so you could have somebody, in theory, mount the gun and start shooting into things. It also is on a ball joint, so you can rotate it around a little bit, especially if you flip it down. Then you can rotate it around a lot more than if you have it straight up. But it is really neat that they added that. They didn't have to, but I'm really glad that they did. And also something that's neat, and again, they didn't have to add this either, but I'm really pleased that they did, even though I don't really use it, is you can actually incorporate it into the vehicle mode itself. What you can do is, there's a little hole right here. What you can do is you can take the barrel of the gun, you can slide it in, and then there's a little post right here that'll peg into the holes back on the butt of the gun, and you can peg it in, and it can actually form a second tailpipe, which is kind of cool. Personally, I don't use it because I've never seen a truck that has two tailpipes. I'm sure they're out there, but I've never seen them, so I usually don't use this. But I did think that was really neat of Hasbro to actually find a way to incorporate the gun into the actual vehicle mode, which I thought was really awesome. So kudos to Hasbro for that, even though I don't even use it. It also does have a working tailgate just due to transformation, which is also nice because you don't see that too often. Anyway, that's about it for vehicle mode. Transformation, you want to go ahead and flip down the tailgate. You can go ahead and flip down the feet too. Then what you want to do is you want to go up here. You want to start wiggling these until they untab. These will form as arms in robot mode. Yeah, get them to untab like so. Then what you want to do is you want to bend this down. You want to split his legs like so. Then what you want to do is you want to raise this piece all the way up. Then you want to fold this piece in, and then start folding this down until it goes into this little slot that's cut into his leg, so it'll lock in more securely. Do the same on this side. Yeah, it can be a little bit tricky to do. You do have to line everything up correctly. There we go. Just flip that down until it goes into the slot in his leg. He does kind of have hollowed out legs, which is a bit of a shame, but you do get used to them. I would have liked it if they had found a way to maybe make the legs a little bit less hollow, but oh, what can you do? Anyway, then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take this whole roof piece and raise it up. Then what you want to do is you want to take this piece right here with the Autobot symbol on it. And this is a little bit tricky at first. You do have to be a little bit careful with it because it does involve springs. What you want to do is you want to take this piece, you're going to start rotating it up. And you can see right here on his chest, these pieces that normally sit out like this automatically spring in to more fill out the chest, which I thought was really, really cool on Hasbro's part, and does give him that classic chest style that G1 Cup had, which I thought was really cool. Anyway, then what you want to do is you want to flip this piece down. I'm going to start folding the backpack down. Then you want to go ahead and flip up his head. I really do like his head sculpt. I think it's a really, really neat little sculpt for Cup. He does have an angry expression on his face, which I know some people complain about, but personally I don't see why people have a problem with it. I mean, a guy like Cup always was cranky, so I think it's a very, very appropriate decision for him to always have an angry expression on his face. It's a really, really neat little head sculpt for Cup. I might end up picking up the iGear head that they made for him with the Cygar at some point, but personally I think this is a pretty neat head sculpt, although I do think that the iGear looks a little bit better. I'll probably end up picking it up at some point, but it is still a really neat little head sculpt. I really do like it. Anyway, back to transformation. What you want to do next, and this is really the most annoying part about the figure, and what's one major flaw are these panels. The instructions say to flip them out like this and leave his arms with the panel hanging off to the side. Personally, I don't like that. It does end up giving him a little bit more motion in his arms, but it does look a little bit odd in my opinion. So what I usually do is I usually rotate the panel back and then use this arm joint to rotate his arms down so that they're under the arm instead of off to the side. And they still are a real big pain in the butt. I wish that they had found a way to maybe fold them in half. I think that would have made them a little bit less intrusive, but that is overall the one big flaw about the figure, is these arm panels. Just so you know, they are a little bit annoying, and they can inhibit transformation, which is a bit of a shame, but oh, what are you going to do? Anyway, go ahead and do the same on this side. You can rotate the wheels up and angle them however you want. And then we'll just give him his gun, and there you have Cup in robot mode. He's really, really cool looking overall. I really, really like the way he looks. He's not very cartoon accurate because he does have a different alt mode, but still, he is really, really cool looking in my opinion. I really like the way this guy looks. His posability is pretty good too. He does have a ball jointed head, which is nice. It is a little bit limited, not really by the sculpt of the head, but just by the length of the ball peg that's on the inside of him, which is a bit of a shame, but oh, what are you going to do? His shoulders do have a hinge right here just due to transformation. They also have a hinge at the shoulder proper. You can rotate him at the upper bicep. He does have a side-to-side joint right here, and then a joint right here. This side-to-side joint, if you did it the official way, would be his elbow joint, and this would be his side-to-side joint if you had it the official way, but the way I do it, this ends up being his elbow, and this ends up being the side-to-side joint, just so as you know. It also does rotate at the wrist, which is nice. There's no waist articulation, but I really do understand why they didn't do that, because that would have been really, really difficult to do. I still would have liked it, but I understand why they didn't do it. Anyway, he does have ball-jointed hips. He does rotate at the upper thigh. His knees bend. Sadly, if you bend them a little bit too far back, this panel does like to flip out, but oh, what are you going to do? His feet do rock side to side. They do go up and down. So you can get some pretty nice poses out of this guy, which is really, really cool. You can also, if you want, you can take the gun. There's some 3mm clip ports on the inside of these panels. So if you have them the official way, you can, if you want, attach them. You can attach them so that his gun ends up hanging off to the side of his arm, but again, that's not really possible just to do the way that I transform. You can also, if you want, clip it onto the roof ports, and you can have him with an overslung shotgun, kind of like that dude in the, what was that series called? It was a Stephen King series, something about a tower, I forget. Anyway, you can't have him with an overslung gun, which is kind of cool. It kind of makes him look like Clint Eastwood, which is kind of neat. Anyway, for some real quick size comparisons, first off, for a standard size comparison, here he is next to Bumblebee. So you can see At the head, he's a little bit taller than the average deluxe. Not by too much, but he is a little bit taller than the average deluxe, which is nice. And also, I'm really looking forward to getting this group shot complete. Here he is next to the G1 Season 3 cast members. First off, here he is next to Hot Rod, Rodimus, whatever you want to call him, the Classics Hot Rod mold. Here he is next to Animated RC, which I use as my Classics RC. Here he is next to my stand-in for Classics Wheelie, for the Decepticons Trenchmouth. Or Slapdash, that's actually his name. And also here he's next to Target exclusive Universe Springer, which, again, in my opinion, is the best version of Springer we've got to date, except for the Defender version. And also, here he's next to Generations Blur. So you can see, just reveal the Shield Retgar is all I need, and I'll have the official completed G1 Season 3, at least officially made by Hasbro. They still have yet to make us a Ultra Magnus, which I hope they get around to doing, because that would really be awesome if I could actually complete the Season 3 team. So you can see just an awesome looking little team there. It's really looking good. I hope that when they finally do get around to making Ultra Magnus, it'll look just as awesome, because this will be just epic to have the full team complete. I think that'll be absolutely awesome. But anyway, back to Kup. Kup is overall just a really awesome figure. Like I said in the beginning of the review, he's not flawless. He definitely does have flaws, namely these arm panels, but he is overall a really nice little figure, and I definitely do highly recommend him. He's really cool, and I definitely think that you'll like him if you add him to your collection. So there you go, Mike. Look at Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Sergeant Kup. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.